Hi, good day everyone. My name is Ajeng Awliya Puspitasari. I would like to present my paper, which is QRIS, Does Government Support Contributes in Cashless Payment System? I've written this paper with Bapak Imam Salihuddin. We are from Faculty of Economics and Business, Universitas Indonesia.
And the second page is about table of contents. Okay, for the introduction, as the transaction is starting to save, transaction now made online through digital platforms, and we know that we should use smartphone. Also, it makes the smartphone usage is now increasingly embedded in our daily lives.
So based on the survey from OJK about national financial literacy and inclusive survey data, which was held in 2019, the financial literacy index reached at approximately 38%, and the financial inclusion rate reached at approximately 7.19%. Looking back at the average of the past 3 years in general, Indonesian understanding of finance has increased by 8.33%, and access to financial products and services has increased by approximately 8%. So, as a derivative of Indonesian Payment System 2025, to solve the challenge in the Indonesian payment system related to the interconnection issues, Bank Indonesia, as a regulator with ASPI, created a QR code payment standard initiative called Quick Response Indonesian Standard, or QRIS. And so, in addition, QRIS is also needed to expand the acceptance of non-cash payments nationally more efficiently and strengthen the interconnection of the digital ecosystem. This research is also conducted only in Indonesia and focused exclusively on QRIS, not on other payment methods such as EDC or mobile banking, and it is only examines the consumer side.
Okay, effort expectancy is the consumer expectation about the level of convenience connected with the usage of technology based on Venkatesh et al. 2012. So effort expectancy here is more or less the same with the principle of perceived ease of use in technology acceptance model, or TAM. And in this research of Wang Yi 2012, effort expectancy is a strong predictor of intention to use mobile payments, because QR codes are using technology that are not really different from the remote mobile payments. So it is expected that the perceived ease of use with QR codes will affect behavioral intention. On the other hand, this hypothesis is developed, so the effort expectancy has a positive effect on behavioral intention in using QRIS. And the second one is social influence. Social influence itself is when users perceive that they need to use the technology similar to those that are necessary to them. Well, this assumption is based on the individual's tendency to consult new technology to social networks and be influenced by the pressure from the people they consider necessary. In terms of technology, social influence is one of the variables often used in mobile payments. So the hypothesis is put forward, which is social influence has a positive effect on behavioral intention in using QRIS. And the third one is innovativeness. Innovativeness based on Sled et al. 2015 research reflects a person's desire to look for something new and different. While something new or new to technology and experimenting with a new technology thinks that a new technology is an expression of a tendency in innovation or novelty seeking. Although innovativeness is not discussed too much in the technology acceptance model, innovativeness has supported new product purchases and innovation adoption in various other subjects. Another study from Awliya et al. 2015 stated that in connection with mobile payment, which is an innovative technology that has become a trend in recent years, personal innovativeness possibly could affect the use of mobile payment services. So it can be concluded that innovativeness has a positive effect on behavioral intention in using. So the government support has already showed the positive relationship to behavioral intention based on research from Chong et al. At 2010 and Tan and Theo at 2000. So these studies explain that the government share great influence of the acceptance of e-banking through government relation. QRIS in Indonesia is regulated in the regulation of members of the Board of Governors, or in bahasa Indonesia Peraturan Anggota Dewan Gubernur or PADG number 21 2019 concerning the implementation of the National Standard Quick Response Code for payment on August 2019. So it is estimated that government support will affect behavioral intention. Another research from Ajeng et al. At 2020 states that the government support positively affects perceived usefulness in the use of e-wallet in Malaysia and Indonesia during COVID-19. And another research from Ajeng et al. 2020 and also from Ajeng et al. 2020, the Indonesian people prefer to use e-wallet when they perceive that government support is there in the form of benefit. When consumers perceive government support, they are more likely to use e-wallet. So based on the statements, it can be concluded that government support has positive effect on perceived usefulness in using QRIS, and government support has a positive effect on behavioral intention in using QRIS. And the last variable used is perceived usefulness. So perceived usefulness defined as a measure of consumer confidence in the ability of a particular system to improve their performance based on Davis et al. 1989 in Ajeng et al. 2020. So several previous studies have found that one of the strong predictors of using technology is perceived usefulness. Perceived usefulness itself in the behavior model is consistent with the performance expectancy variable. And then research by Ajeng et al. States that perceived usefulness can mediate the relationship between government support and behavioral intention in using e-wallet in Malaysia and Indonesia during COVID-19. According to Ajeng et al. 2020, perceived usefulness has a positive effect on behavioral intention to use e-wallet. So these hypotheses are written as follows. Perceived usefulness has a positive effect on behavioral intention in using QRIS, and perceived usefulness mediates the relationship between government support and behavioral intention in using QRIS. And the next one is the part for discussion and conclusion. The research analysis were analyzed using LISREL 8.8, and the research model in main test was applied with confirmatory factor analysis and structural modeling. And before the main test, the pretest also conducted for 30 respondents with SPSS. And after getting the 275 respondents, the following is the demographic profile, and the majority of the respondents is women, which represented by 68.7%, and for the generation, mostly in Y generation or millennials in 24 until 39 years old. And for the expenses per month, mostly in 1.2 until 4.7 million per month. And most of the respondents using QRIS of 2 until 5 times, which is 34.5%, and the total amount of transaction in average per month is 500,000 until 1 million rupiah, or 36%. All the results from CR and AVE showing a reliable result, which is above 0.7 for CR and 0.5 for AVE. So we can conclude that all the result is showing a reliable result. And next we go to the goodness of it for structural model based on the GOFI or goodness of it. The score of RMCA is showing a good fit, which amounted in 0.06. We can conclude that it is also in good fit. And next, from the data processing result with LISREL, the hypothesis testing result shows that all the hypothesis is supported due to the t-value result is more than 1.65%. And for the seventh hypothesis, which is the perceived usefulness can mediate the government support and behavioral intention, the t-value counted by a Sobel test, and it shows that it beyond the cutoff value, which is 1.65. For the first hypothesis, it is found that the effort expectancy has a positive value on behavioral intention, and the second one is the relationship between innovativeness and behavioral intention also showed a positive result. And the second one is we can conclude that the data obtained from the research result show that social influence has a positive effect on the behavioral intention in using QRIS. And the third one is innovativeness has a positive effect on behavioral intention in using QRIS. It can be concluded that the higher person level of innovation, so the behavioral intention in using QRIS will be higher. This is in line with the research of Slate et al. And the fourth one stated that the government support has a positive effect on perceived usefulness using QRIS is also supported. So it can conclude that this is still in line with research from Ajeng et al. And next, for the fifth hypothesis is government support has a positive effect on behavioral intention in using QRIS. This shows that the government support has a positive effect on behavioral intention using QRIS. And the sixth hypothesis is perceived usefulness has a positive effect on behavioral intention using QRIS. This is also supported. And from this result, it can be said that the higher perceived usefulness of QRIS can increase the desire to use QRIS. This is also in line with the research of Ajeng et al. In 2020 and Mutahar et al. In 2018, which also produced the result that perceived usefulness showing a positive influence on intention to use. So, based on the findings on the previous discussion, the following are the findings that can be used as an input to regulators and industry in the Indonesian payment system, especially to increase the socialization of the electronic money and mobile banking via QRIS among Indonesian people. We can see that regulators and industry also collaborate on campaigns to promote QRIS via influencers or key opinion leader to encourage non-cash transaction via QRIS. In terms of innovation, it is also necessary to consider to focus on innovative consumer on early adopters, as discovered from Slate et al. In United Kingdom. And according to the study, it is recommended to focus on Generation Y in order to maximize QRIS socialization. And additionally, this study discovered that the government role in socializing QRIS was critical, as evidenced by the direction of the relationship between government support and perceived usefulness, and the relationship between the government support and behavioral intention, either directly or indirectly. Due to the regulator operates QRIS, it has a significant impact on payment made via QRIS. So therefore, government support is critical for users, both in terms of in the utility of QRIS and its intended to use. So regulators should be concerned on the incentive to use QRIS should be strengthened. For example, through merchant discount rate to subsidize and encourage merchants to promote the use of QRIS through simultaneous campaign that run throughout Indonesia and payments promotion. So that's all for my presentation today. Thank you so much for your attention.